First official day in Israel, and I'm already crossing the borders to get to West Bank in Palestine because I wanted to visit Bethlehem.
This is the procession,
mark.
they call it the procession route. Like
The door to this church is very low because they want you to stoop down before the presence of God. This is one of the oldest churches on this planet. It was built in around 325 AD. Now we're walking down into the cave where they believe the manger was located. They found about 2,000 babies killed by King Herod during the massacre of the innocents in these tombs. Speaking of which, we're heading towards the milk grotto. And then we visited the Banksy Museum where we weren't allowed to take any photos because it is very political. This is the most important and ancient church in the Christian quarter, and in front of us is the famous stone of unction on which Christ's body was laid and anointed after his crucifixion. And this is the antechamber that holds the stone on which the angels who announced the resurrection of Jesus sat. Now we're going up to the second floor, and this is a spot in which the Catholics believe that Jesus was crucified. Then we ended the day by walking through the Kidron Valley, and we passed by the tomb of King David's son. I'm ready to head out for another day's adventure. I didn't get to do nearly as much as yesterday because I ended up talking to so many people along the way, but I still got to visit quite a few important spots. And then I walked to Mount Zion to visit the tomb of King David. It is the most holy site for Jewish people. Extending from the center of King David's tomb is a divider that separated the men from the women. And right above King David's tomb is the cenacle, where Jesus had his Last Supper. Then I slowly walked out of the Jewish quarter. And chilled right outside of the city walls. to watch the sunset.
I have an alternative. We chill with them, we get some food, and then
So we ended up joining 2 other Taiwanese girls who live in Germany, and we traveled together for the day. This is the Dome of the Rock. It is the most contested place on Earth. And then we went to visit the tombs of the last 3 prophets, which are recorded in the last 3 books of the Old Testament.
Haggai, Malachi, and Zechariah. Indicate 50 tombs, the prophets and their followers.
Honestly speaking, it was quite a creepy place. We were walking through the tombs of people who died almost 3,000 years ago, and it was pitch dark, so we had to use these candles to light our footsteps. Where the soldiers are walking down is part of the triumphal entry of Jesus, where Jesus rode the donkey down to Jerusalem. This is a view from the top of Mount Olives. On our way back, we walked through the Muslim neighborhood for about 40 minutes. This is Machane Yehuda, the most famous market in Jerusalem. Then we went back to the old city to walk the Via Dolorosa, which is the way of sorrow, the pathway in which Jesus walked while carrying the cross. But it didn't take long for us to be distracted along the way. We saw a very cute little kitten. I found it super distracting while walking through the Via Dolorosa when there were so many shops going on around. So we kind of just gave up and went back to Filip's couchsurfing host place to get dinner.
This is Carol. He is vegetarian. He's also vegetarian, and we're having a vegetarian meal. Looks so delicious. This is his rooftop. So we are volunteering here at a kitchen.
And we met some pretty talented people here.
She is an opera singer.
After lunch, we went over to the Garden Tomb. This is a skull hill where Protestant Christians believe that Jesus was crucified. Now we're walking towards the Garden Tomb where Protestant Christians believe is where Jesus was buried. The make of this tomb indicates that it's a rich man's tomb because of the 3 seating arranged bench. And yes, the tomb was empty. Now we are entering the old city through the Damascus Gate. This is the Muslim quarter, and there's always a bunch of Israeli police here. Now we have entered the old city of David. All of these ruins are from over 3,000 years ago. This tunnel was dug almost 3,000 years ago. It is only 60 centimeters wide, and it took about 30 minutes to walk through the whole thing. Its primary purpose was to carry water to the city of David in case of a siege. And this is the famous Shiloh inscription.